How we doing, everybody? Sam here, United People's TV, live on Facebook and YouTube with today's MUFC Daily, number 13, I think it is. How are we doing? Where are we watching it from? Let me know in the comments. I'll try and give you a shout out as I always do. But today's show is it's a little bit different because what I want to talk to you all about is Manchester United's number 10 and who should be playing there, because Henrikh Mkhitaryan started the season in absolutely phenomenal form. I think he got 5 assists in August. Arguably, he was Manchester United's Player of the Month. He was certainly up for that. But ever since then, Henrikh Mkhitaryan's been on a downward turn of form. And his performance against Chelsea at the weekend was one of the worst performances on the pitch, probably the worst single performance on the pitch. And it raised questions as to whether or not Henrikh Mkhitaryan should be playing as Manchester United's number 10. Now, what I'm going to do is run through a list of the options for you, and I want you to let me know in the comments who you think is Man United's best number 10. And before we go into that, let's read a few of your names out because loads of you are watching. We've got Jordan watching from Sri Lanka. We've got Bright Amieng watching from Italy. Hassan watching from Hackney. Gefe watching from Cameroon. Someone watching from Australia. Tendai watching from Australia. Matthew from South Africa. Nithin from India. Gattuso watching from Ghana. That's all on YouTube. What about Facebook as well? We've got Boston watching from New Zealand. Keith watching from Ireland as always. How you doing, mate? Shrijan watching from Nepal. And Cameron from Trinidad. And Tabs watching from Manchester. How are you doing all this morning? Lots of you joining in. But let's get straight into the debate. As I said, Henrikh Mkhitaryan has been our number 10 so far this season. And he's been brilliant at points. But what I've seen against Spurs, what I've seen against Chelsea, what I've seen in probably quite a few games, not just those two, is a real lack of effort from Henrikh Mkhitaryan in a role where you really need to have a lot of effort. You've got to cover the ground, you've got to bridge the midfield and the attack. Mkhitaryan did that at the start of the season, but right now he is just not doing it. And Man United are definitely suffering because of it. So I want to look at alternatives. And first on my list is Juan Mata, the man who was actually left out of the squad completely against Chelsea at the weekend because Fellaini was back fit, and Jose Mourinho clearly had him down as his sub for Mkhitaryan if he was playing poorly, which he did, and that's where he was taken off. But Juan Mata, arguably the best natural playmaker we've got in the squad, really graceful to watch, and he's been influential under Jose Mourinho. We all thought that he was probably going to be one of the first names on the out list when Jose Mourinho took over as Manchester United manager, but it wasn't the case. Juan Mata became an important player. And there is no player in this squad who has a better ratio in big games than Juan Mata. Let me try and find the stats for you. But his influence in the games against the top 6, there is no other player in our squad who gets anywhere near what Juan Mata can do. Here we go, I've got it here. So Mata's big game influence. He's ahead of Coutinho, Ozil, Silva, De Bruyne, Hazard and Eriksen. He gets a goal, well, prior to whatever this was released, I think it was last year, he gets a goal and an assist every 148 minutes in big games. Coutinho second with 172 minutes, Ozil third with 180 minutes. Yet Mata was left out against Chelsea. Was that a strange move from Jose Mourinho? Arguably yes, because Mkhitaryan was playing so poorly. He should have realised that maybe Mata could have been a better choice there. But somebody who's injured at the moment, somebody who everybody is crying out to return as soon as possible for Manchester United is, of course, Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba hasn't actually operated as a number 10 for Manchester United. He has at points, but he's drifted into that position. He's not really played there all too often as a starting number 10. He's normally played on the left of a central midfield or on the right of it, rather than a number 10, but it doesn't mean that he couldn't play there. And if you want somebody to really dominate that position, there's nobody better than Paul Pogba. Physically imposing, excellent with the ball at his feet, capable of dribbling past players, and more importantly, capable of getting those key passes through the lines. Paul Pogba could be an excellent number 10 for Manchester United, but let's see what you've got to say in the comments so far. Was Mata injured against Chelsea, says Nithin? No, he wasn't. Mata was simply he wasn't even on the bench, he was just out of the squad. We've got Giovanni saying Lingard could play as number 10. We've got Nithin saying Griezmann for number 10. We'll cover Lingard in a bit. Griezmann, obviously we haven't got him in the squad right now, but if he did join I could not think of a better number 10 than him, but maybe Griezmann would play up front alongside Lukaku. We've got Michael Van Gerwen saying, I think Mata at 10 with Pogba and Matic behind him, they can make up for Mata being small and weak. That's exactly what you saw with Fabregas and Chelsea at the weekend. As soon as Kante was back in the team, and it was Kante and Bakayoko there, Fabregas was free to just be an architect with the ball at his feet. Not an architect. Somebody who's creating, which I suppose an architect does create. But that's what, having those sorts of players in a solid central midfield would allow Mata to really dominate in that number 10 role and not have to work defensively, and maybe that would suit him. Somebody who Jose Mourinho has played quite a bit in the number 10 role is, of course, Marouane Fellaini, who came off the bench against Chelsea and who has, prior to his injury, scored plenty of goals for Manchester United this season. I think he scored 4 goals in 9 appearances. I might be wrong in that, but I think that was correct. Marouane Fellaini was bang in form before his injury. And when he came off the bench against Chelsea, he caused Chelsea's defence all sorts of problems that they hadn't had to cope with all day long. Now, maybe Fellaini would be the smarter move to play in that number 10 role. Play him in a sort of position where he really did thrive at Everton and really use his strengths to our gain. Use his physical strength and his power, get those balls into him. He can chest it down, bring somebody into play. He can flick it on for Lukaku or Rashford over the top. He's definitely an option. We've got Abdul saying, hi Sam, I think there's just too much pressure on Mkhitaryan, especially with Pogba not being there. No other midfielder is performing apart from Matic. Yes, there's a lot of pressure on Mkhitaryan, but this is Manchester United. You've got that badge on your chest. You need to cope with that pressure. It's not an excuse to say that Mkhitaryan's got too much pressure on him. Pogba's got pressure on him. He's had pressure on him since the first kick he had in a Manchester United shirt after rejoining as a record transfer, and he's coped with it absolutely fine. Why can't Mkhitaryan? Got Monik saying, with Lukaku as our striker, we need some proper wingers to deliver the ball to him. So far, Young has done a good job delivering crosses. Young has turned himself into our best crosser, which is sort of saying a lot. But we do need some crosses, but we also need some real quality in that number 10 role. Got Jordan saying, I'd say Pogba and Matic in the midfield, and then Fellaini is number 10. And we've got Tendai saying Fellaini is more of a threat in the box than Lukaku. Lukaku, I'm not really sure he actually got a touch in the box against Chelsea, which is worrying in itself. But Fellaini is definitely an option. And there are 3 other players that I want to talk about who wouldn't be my first choices, but it's certainly interesting to discuss them, and one's not even at the club. But Jesse Lingard, he's always said that he wants to play in that number 10 role. And Jesse Lingard, his movement off the ball, there is nobody better at Manchester United than movement off the ball than Jesse Lingard is. And that makes a big, big difference, because in that number 10 position, you need to find space all of the time. It's normally quite a congested part of the pitch. So someone like Jesse Lingard would be able and capable to really find those spaces in between the lines, get the ball to his feet and bring others into play. He's not as naturally gifted as a playmaker as someone like Juan Mata is, someone like Henrikh Mkhitaryan is, but he's somebody who could offer that movement and space in a role which has become very stagnant recently under Henrikh Mkhitaryan. And somebody who could operate in that number 10 position, potentially when he's back from injury, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Here's a bit of a curveball, really. But if you remember Zlatan in his season that he had at Manchester United prior to his injury, he loved dropping deep to get the ball. It's because we didn't have enough service up towards him. But I can definitely imagine, I definitely saw this against Chelsea with Mkhitaryan. He didn't turn and just basically show to Matic that he wanted the ball. Give me the ball, I can make something happen. Ibrahimovic would do that all day long. And let's be honest, no one's getting the ball off Ibrahimovic when he's got it at his feet. He's excellent at protecting the ball. He'd be excellent at bringing others into play. And he has the quality to shoot from outside the box. There are a lot of boxes that Ibrahimovic would actually tick as a number 10. It's not the position where maybe we would all think that he would come back in, but with Lukaku up front and Rashford up front, I'm not sure I'd even want to play Ibrahimovic up front. So maybe that number 10 role would be where he should play. We've got Daniel Akapubis completely disagreeing, saying Lingard is garbage, honestly. So obviously you don't want Lingard there. And we've got Tendai saying Lingard is a squad player. He is a squad player. But who's to say that he can't start at number 10 sometimes? We've got more comments here. We've got Jordan saying Zlatan could be a great number 10. He's highly influential as well. Remember, we need a leader in that position. Somebody who's really going to want that ball all the time. Ibrahimovic would certainly do that. Got Anton saying Mkhitaryan was shocking again, and just think he's another Kagawa who can't handle the physical Premier League. I'm afraid to say Mkhitaryan is just not good enough for us. He's had his flashpoints this season, but unfortunately with Mkhitaryan, we're seeing a consistent level in the last few games of somebody who really is just not applying himself again, which is strange because he's had the criticism, he's responded to Mourinho's criticism, and he turned it on. We need that again from Mkhitaryan. I don't know what is going to change that around. Got a comment here from Rob Duck Lomax on Facebook saying Andreas Pereira is the guy and he is next on my list, the final name on this list, because Andreas Pereira is doing well currently on loan at Valencia. But Andreas Pereira is a natural number 10. It's the role that he would love to play if he was at Manchester United, but will he be able to come back to the club and play that at some point in the future? That all depends on whether we maybe sign Antoine Griezmann in the summer or not, or whether Jose Mourinho thinks he's ready to play in that number 10 role. Let me know what you would think about Andreas Pereira, but he's certainly a name that we have to be considering in this long list we've got of potential number 10s. But let's get to the comments again here. Got Sumitra saying Mkhitaryan is an outright winger. I disagree with that. Mkhitaryan naturally cuts inside a lot of the time, and sometimes it works for him, but sometimes, and a lot of the times recently, that is not working for us. Got Rook Rakudzo saying that we need to buy Ozil. He would definitely be better than Mkhitaryan on current form. I cannot disagree with that, but you all know my thoughts and feelings on the potential signing of Mesut Ozil. We've got Yuki saying Mickey, I think, is only good enough on the wing, but Zlatan, he would be good enough in the number 10 role. We've got Bahati saying Pogba, he'd be good in the number 10 role. Let's head to Facebook, get a few of your comments there. We've got Kai Mohammed saying Ozil could do a better job in the Mourinho than anybody in the United squad. And Alex Angel saying Ander Herrera could work at number 10. He is a workhorse for the team last season, so could spark that form again. That's a good shout, Alex. I didn't put Ander Herrera in there, but I suppose you could consider him in this equation. If you've got Fellaini and Pogba, if you've got Pogba and Matic behind Herrera, it's a very solid midfield three, but one I would hesitate to say would lack a little bit of creativity. Herrera's best performances for United came when he was that busy midfielder, winning the ball back and passing it off to somebody else. He does have those through balls in him, but he's better operated as a central midfielder or a defensive central midfielder rather than an attacking midfielder, and that's my own personal opinion. Got Abel saying Ozil is your man. Akash saying we don't have a De Bruyne at the moment. That's the problem. We do have a De Bruyne. His name is Paul Pogba, but he's currently injured. That's the problem. Got Nathan George saying we need to bring Pereira back in January. Got Jordan Bollin saying Ozil is good for one game and shit for 5. And I think that's my big issue with Ozil. But as you can see, there are definitely options in the number 10 role for Manchester United. We're currently seeing Mkhitaryan playing there a lot, but we've got Juan Mata, a fantastic playmaker. He can play there. Paul Pogba, one of the most complete midfielders in the world. Could he become that magic number 10 that we need? Zlatan Ibrahimovic, could he come back from injury? Marouane Fellaini, Jesse Lingard, Andreas Pereira. United have got definite options in that number 10 role. But what I want to know from you, make sure you comment after the video is live. I want to know from you who you think that number 10 should be for Manchester United. Should Henrikh Mkhitaryan keep his spot at number 10 or should it be somebody else? Let me know in the comments. If you're new on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, as you always do. Join in every single day at 10:30 AM for MUFC Daily and lots more videos. If you're on Facebook, drop a like on the page, share the video with your friends around Facebook, get some more Reds involved. The more the merrier. Now, until tomorrow, take it easy.